So here are some ways that I handle mistakes as a neurodivergent entrepreneur. So, as a neurodivergent person, I have ADHD, ADD, the inattentive type. And so, even when I am paying my best amount of attention, even when I have all the safeguards in place, even when I go over and over, it is still very common that I will make mistakes, whether or not it's grammar mistakes, whether or not as an online entrepreneur, I help women heal from trauma and unhealthy relationships. And so the way I do that is by courses and coaching and programs and workshops and stuff like that. So broken links and emails are common and things like that. So as my platform has grown and I've had more eyes on me, I have had to deal with all of the insecurities and thoughts and things that come up when you are making mistakes, not only on your own, but when you make them publicly. And when you're neurodivergent, especially with ADHD, there's something called rejection sensitivity syndrome, which is you are more prone to feeling those feelings of rejection, feeling not good enough. Now, whether or not it's the chicken or the egg, whether or not it's caused by the way that your disorder has made it easier for you to make these types of mistakes. And so you get more instances of feeling that type of activation, or if you already come in that sensitive and then all the things that happen on the other side of that kind of reinforce it. I'm not an expert in it, but I just know that that's the case. So today I sent an email to my email list because I'm shifting more into helping other healing professionals build their business, work on their own feelings of imposter syndrome, and showing up. And wouldn't you know, today's email had some links that did not quite work. It's a few days later because life and because ADHD. So one of the things that I do when I make these types of mistakes, especially if I make a mistake that is in front of others and front and center, I really try to reinforce the fact that I am doing my best and I'm good enough. Again, when you struggle with this type of disorder, especially if you were around people growing up in your friend group, teachers, other folks who were really critical, you internalize those thoughts. And so you become your biggest critic. And so one of the things that has really been a blessing for me, which is a second thing that I do, is my community. I have other people around me who are very grounded and very confident. And also because they've had a different set of experiences, the ways that they handle mistakes is different from me, or it was very different from me. And so I watched them and I learned how they can make a mistake and not have that mean that there's something wrong with you, not have that equate to you're broken, people are upset with you, whatever else, but mistakes happen. And so being able to be connected to people who have that sense of steadiness, I've definitely picked up that skills, and so that set of skills. And so in addition to knowing that I'm good enough, that I'm doing my best, and that not just I'm doing my best and what can you do, but actually no, you are doing so well, and just really praising myself and letting that be my identity and not letting a mistake be my identity. The second part of what I've learned from friends is that mistakes happen. Mistakes happen. You learn, you grow, you move on, you repair. And that ability to not get stuck and ruminate is huge. Which leads to the third thing, which is what I'm doing right now, which is showing up and talking about it. So much of my life I have spent trying to overcompensate and be perfect. I really worked myself to the bone. Stress issues, health issues, and trying to make sure that the impact of what I didn't know was a neurological disorder would not show up in my everyday life. And it made me very, very sick. And so now that I'm at a place of better health and I've watched other women kind of walk in those same shoes, I have started to talk more about my experience. I share more about it. I even find that here and other places, I get a lot of people who talk about how it's very good to hear someone else, especially someone who looks like them, talk about this because they feel like they were alone. And part of the thing that I am learning now is how to share my story and share my story with confidence and know that the sign of my healing and the sign of my growth is to not one day exit this and have the best 5-step method and set of tools and skills to make sure you never make a mistake again, because that's impossible. But rather is to show you how to love yourself, how to be present for yourself, how to forgive yourself, and how to connect to other people to help you stay on track, on that path when it gets hard and when you forget it. And so if any of that is supportive to you, especially if you're someone like me who helps people front and center, and sometimes your mistakes are on display, just know that you're enough. Just know that you're worthy and you got this.